Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Dean Spooner, thank you for your testimony about the work you're doing at the state and local level in North Carolina to equip great teachers. I've long believed the most important work in schools happens at the state and local level. You touched on this briefly in your testimony. Could you talk a little bit more, and keeping in mind I've got two other questions to ask, could you talk more about how you learn from local communities about their teacher workforce needs?
Absolutely, thank you. We have a very strong, and this is something that's deep in the DNA of our university and also our program, partnership, meaning that means you meet collaboratively, you meet face-to-face, you go into the community with the superintendents, with the partners. That's an advantage that I have at Appalachian, to be able to sit with them on at a minimum, a quarterly basis. We also have begun to pull in more of the community college partners, presidents of community colleges, to work. So it's an intentional, purposeful work that we do to collaborate, to learn from them, so they can learn from us. We build it together. Thank you very much.
Dr. Basile, I enjoyed my visit very much to Arizona State, and am really excited about what you're doing as well as Appalachian State in terms of the teacher preparation programs. You've developed a number of connections with neighboring schools. There's a focus there also on working at the local level. How do you build trust with these districts and convince them to move away from the one teacher, one classroom model?
So change moves at the speed of trust. We say that all the time. We also encourage people to start small, right? So we're not walking in and we're not telling them what to do and saying, here's how you change your entire school at one time. We say, look, start with one team. Find a really good leader, find a really good team of teachers that are really interested in this, who understand what we're trying to do, and you start there. What happens after that is really pretty amazing, because what we've seen in schools, they start with one team, and by the end of the year, everybody's in teams, because the people look in and say, I want to work that way as well. It's helping us to retain teachers. It's helping right now, all of the data that we're getting back, teachers are more satisfied. We're seeing better retention numbers. We're seeing some early student return on student data that is positive. So all the indicators are positive, and that is helping us to build that level of trust.
Thank you. Dr. Mendez, as I mentioned to you before, we know that the key to a successful school is a good principal who hires good teachers and parental involvement. Please tell us more about how you manage the relationships with your teachers. When you started to move away from the one teacher, one classroom model, how did you ensure teachers would buy into the changes?
Thank you. To kind of echo Dr. Basile there, we started with a small team. First and foremost, we spent a lot of time reading, discussing, looking at research around the power of proximity, the power of collaboration with teachers. And once we found a group to start working together, they become the marketing firm for the change that's happening on the campus, and those teachers begin to speak about their working conditions, how they know their students more, how their students are more engaged. And so with that, we were able to expand our teams beyond where we were, and we're up to teamed 9th, 10th, and 11th grade this school year. We're still working on 12th grade because each kid has their own path of graduation. But that's where we started, and I think there is power when teachers start to work together and collaborate. And, you know, anything else to say outside of when teachers work together. Teachers are amazing people, and it's an amazing profession. And when you allow them the agency to work together and really hone in on their skills and their passions for education, the possibilities are endless.
Thank you. You know, it's not a mystery to me, it seems, that we've had difficulty in the last few years recruiting people to go into teaching. I've often mentioned it. We put an adult in a room with 30 kids, lock the door, and say, you're in there all day long, all by yourself, handling these students. And again, shouldn't be a mystery. I don't know very many people who want to go into that kind of an environment. And so what you all are doing, and you've all mentioned collaboration, you've all mentioned teams, And if you look around in the private sector, you see the word teams, you see the words associates, you see the word collaboration constantly. And I think it's very exciting that we're seeing this new approach to preparing people to teach by doing the things you're doing, really focusing on the real world. What's it going to be like to do classroom management in addition to exposing the students to the subject matter? So I'm very excited about what we're hearing today from the teacher preparation, from Dr. Mendez, in terms of what's going on. And I think that we are learning a lot, and that the world's learning a lot about what we need to be doing to have effective teachers. So thank you all very much, and thank you, Mr. Chairman, for your indulgence.
Thank you, Dr. Foxx.